All right, so taking back off where we left off, this is section 3.3, the group work section. Hopefully you had a chance to go through it. Check your answers. If you have any questions, listen to the video, let me know, reach out to me. So this graph should look pretty familiar. This is what we looked at in the last section of notes, and we came up with this formula. P is equal to negative 245 plus 0.63x. I just want you to note that this is written backwards of what we did last time, so it was 0.63x minus 245. They are the exact same thing. It does not matter which way you write it. So these questions are going to be based on that. It says, question 1, given the fact that X represents the number of snow cones sold, what should we do to find the profit from selling 150 snow cones? Well, 150 represents X, so replace X with 150 into the equation. I put it in, 0.63 times 150, do that first, then add negative 245, you get negative 150.5, which means he would lose $150.50. How does this compare to the estimate we found in the previous lesson? Well, if you remember, in the previous lesson, we estimated that he lost $150, so it's pretty accurate, okay? And we got this by looking at the graph. So if we do it into the actual equation versus looking at the graph, you can see they're going to be pretty accurate. All right, question 3. Given that P represents profit, what should we do to find the number of snow cones needed to make a profit of $50? Well, $50 is representing profit, so we're going to replace P with 50. So we have P, which is 50, equals negative 245 plus 63x. I got to get X by itself, so I'm going to add 245 because this is a negative right here. Opposite of negative is add. These are going to cancel. 50 plus 245 is 295. Bring down 0.63x. Well, now 0.63 is being multiplied into x. What's the opposite of multiplication? Divide. So I'm going to divide by 0.63. 295 divided by 0.63 is 468.3. Okay. So this is asking a couple things. So it says, what should we do to find the profit of $50? What happens when you do this? Okay. Well, notice, okay, what does this represent? The number of snow cones. Can we sell 468.3 snow cones? No. Okay. Why is this question in this lesson? Because it's reinforcing solving equations, right? We're taking the equation that we figured out in section 3.2, how to write equations, and then showing how we can apply that equation that we found and then solve it. Okay, so question 4 says we should be able to solve the equation. That's what I just did up here. So I kind of combined the two together. So if you look, the answer to question 4 is up here. And we would need to sell 469 snow cones because 468 would not be enough. Okay, now the other thing is, what happens when you plug 469 back into the equation? Well, you get 50.47. It doesn't check exactly because we rounded, right? Nothing, we didn't round, not perfect numbers. So because we rounded, it's all not going to be perfect numbers. But this also shows that he will never make exactly $50. Okay, he's going to make $50 and some change, but that's what happens in the real world. Nothing is perfect. Question 6, use the profit if 700 snow cones were sold, replacing 700 with X, 63 cents times 700 plus negative 245 is 196. So he would make $196 if he sells 700 snow cones. Use the equation to find the number of snow cones they need to sell to make a profit of 400. Well, 400 now is my profit. So that's going to replace your P. Okay, be careful what you're replacing. We're not replacing X in this one. 400 equals negative 245 plus 63x. This negative 245, so I have to add 245 to both sides. Now, once you do this, I'm going to divide by 0.63 because it's being multiplied into x, which means you get an answer of 1,023.8. So you can't sell 0.8 snow cones, so you'd have to sell 1,024 snow cones to make $400. Write the steps. I added 245 first, and then you divide by 0.63. Okay, question 9 is starting to get into literal equations. It's asking you to take one variable and take the equation that's in terms of P, so it says P equals, and it wants you to rewrite this equation so it says X equals, okay? This is a very challenging concept, and once again, I'm going to be posting a bunch of things for you to try and do with extra practice for literal equations. I know there's going to be a bunch there. Please reach out, ask me if you have any questions. I know this is a really challenging concept. So if I want to make this turn this equation, so instead of it saying p equals, I want to say x equals. We're going to do the exact same thing we did here. I'm going to add 245, but can you add p and 245? They are not like terms, so I'm just going to write it p plus 245. And then step 2 says divide by 0.63. And that's my answer. Now x is by itself. X equals p plus 245 divided by 0.63. Okay. So we're doing the exact same steps that you normally would do, but we're using variables, and it's a lot of reasoning skills, and if you just do what you can to figure it out. Okay. And again, reach out. So question 10 is going back into Excel, not too concerned about it, but it's saying take A2, okay, plus 245 divided by 0.63. That's the equation we just found out, is the formula that you would plug in. That's how you write into Excel if you want to do that. Okay, this is easier because if I tell you the profit, okay, going into question 11, if I give you the profit and I want you to find the number of snow cones, this can go right into the calculator, just like this. If you don't rearrange this equation, you'd have to do multiple steps to figure it out. So that's why this is easier, okay? And then it's reminiscing on the Fahrenheit and Celsius equation. So we have these two equations that are right here. And it's asking you on the next page, we're going to take this first formula and we're going to solve it in terms of C, just like we just did, and see if we get the same equation. So let's look at what happens. So first thing is, here's my formula. I have to subtract 32 from both sides because the 32 is being addition. We always do the thing farthest removed from our variable. So subtract 32 from both sides. So now I'm left with F, take away 32, is equal to 9/5C. Notice the 9/5 doesn't change. Now, to get C by itself, we got to get rid of this 9/5. How do you get rid of a fraction? We have to multiply it by its reciprocal. What's the reciprocal of 9/5? 5/9. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 5/9. So we have 5/9 times F minus 32. I want you to think about, why did I put parentheses here? Why is the parentheses needed? Okay, take a minute. Think about it. Okay, it's needed because I'm multiplying both the F and the negative 32. If you don't put those parentheses there, it's just going to be looking like you're multiplying F and not 32, which is not good. The 9/5 is going to cancel out the 5 9s, which is just left with C, and notice that they're the exact same equation. Okay, here is steps to solving a literal equation, read them, and then again, I did the did you get it just so you can have a little bit of extra practice. I'm going to be posting some more examples. Please make sure you try them. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will hopefully talk to you guys soon.